Meghan owes me. What I've been through, I should be rewarded for.
Meghan Markle's estranged father, Thomas Markle, speaking out in the new documentary, Thomas Markle, My Story.
The plea came from a sterile hospital bed over 7,000 miles away, a whisper of desperation cutting through the roar of a years-long silence. Thomas Markle, 81, former lighting director, former father of the bride, now a man with one leg and a clock he hears ticking louder every day, made his final public appeal to a daughter he no longer knows. "I just want to see her one more time before I die," he told a confidant, his voice reportedly weak but clear from his room in a Manila hospital. "I have never stopped loving her. I don't want to die estranged from Meghan. I want to meet my grandkids. It might be nice to meet her husband too." The words, simple and devastating, were uttered in the stark aftermath of a life-altering surgery. Just days earlier, doctors had performed a below-the-knee amputation on his left leg, a life-or-death procedure necessitated by a severe blood clot. According to his son, Thomas Markle Jr., 57, the crisis descended with terrifying speed. His foot turned blue and then black. It happened very quickly, Thomas Jr. recounted, painting a picture of a frantic race against time. "I took him to a local hospital. They did some scans and an ultrasound and said the leg had to be amputated. There was no other choice. His life was in imminent danger. The surgery saved his life, but it also seems to have crystallized a profound sense of mortality and regret. Lying in recovery, faced with the grueling physical and emotional battle ahead, the patriarch of the fractured Markle family is now fixated on bridges he can no longer cross alone." As with every chapter in the long, painful saga between the Duchess of Sussex and her father, no statement exists in a vacuum. It is immediately surrounded by a fog of claims, counterclaims, and strategic leaks. Following the publication of Thomas's plea, a spokesperson for Meghan, 44, offered a firm, if brief, rebuttal to the implication she had abandoned him. "The Duchess has reached out to her father," the statement read, a line meant to convey effort and responsibility. It was further claimed that she had sought help in identifying exactly which hospital in the Philippines he was being treated in, suggesting an attempt to make direct contact. However, almost before the statement had circulated, a source from within the hospital itself pushed back sharply. "As we are aware, it didn't happen," the medical insider stated bluntly, casting immediate doubt on the idea that any contact from the Montecito-based Duchess had been received at the bedside. This he said, they said dynamic is the toxic hallmark of their relationship since its very public collapse in 2018. That year, Thomas Markle's fateful decision to stage paparazzi photographs and the run-up to Meghan's wedding to Prince Harry blew the family rift wide open, transforming private tensions into a global spectacle. The subsequent interviews, the letters later revealed in court, and the relentless commentary from Thomas's other daughter, Samantha, have ensured the wound never heals. Samantha, 61, weighed in this week, framing her father's health crisis as the direct result of the estrangement. "I believe the strain of the last few years has taken its toll on my father and added to his fragility," she said. "He is a strong man, but he has been through so much. I am praying that he is strong enough to survive this. My father has been through 2 heart attacks, a stroke, and an earthquake. I hope he can pull through this." At the heart of Thomas Markle's plea is a pain that transcends the arguments with his adult daughter. The aching absence of 2 small, red-haired children he has only ever seen in photographs. Archie, 6, and Lilibet, 4, are growing up in California, aware of their royal lineage, but utterly removed from the man who is their maternal grandfather. For Thomas, they are not just children. They are living symbols of the life and family he has been shut out of, a future he is desperate to touch, however briefly, before his own future expires. "Before it's too late," he said of his wish to meet them. It is the most poignant part of his appeal, one that resonates with any grandparent. There is no discussion of past conflicts here, no staged photos or paid interviews, just the simple, universal longing of an old man to hold his grandchildren. But this is no ordinary family. Any meeting would be a logistical and security minefield, and, more importantly, a profound emotional decision for Meghan and Harry. The couple have fiercely guarded their children's privacy, constructing a normal life far from the intrusions of both the British press and, it seems, certain members of their own families. Introducing them to a grandfather who has repeatedly spoken to the media and who they have never met is a Rubicon they have shown no sign of being willing to cross. Her words add another layer of pressure, implicitly painting Meghan's distance as a contributing factor to his physical decline. This is not the first time a hospital stay has framed a plea from Thomas Markle. In the run-up to Meghan's wedding, he suffered a heart attack, which initially sparked sympathy and a flurry of concerned contact from his then-engaged daughter. That health crisis, however, soon became entangled with the paparazzi photo scandal, forever linking medical vulnerability with public manipulation in the narrative of their rift. Now, history repeats itself, but with higher stakes and a more definitive finality. An amputation is not a condition one recovers from and moves on from. It is a permanent transformation, a daily physical reminder of mortality and lost time. Friends of Thomas say the man in the manila bed is a shadow of the once robust, proud professional who raised Meghan. The series of health emergencies, the heart attacks, the stroke, have chipped away at his resilience. The earthquake Samantha referenced was not just geological, it was the seismic personal quake of becoming a global villain in the story of his daughter's fairy tale, a narrative he feels he never got to correct. For Meghan, the Duchess, the calculation is agonizing and impossible. On one side is the raw human pull of a dying parent's wish. The finality of death and the societal expectation of reconciliation at the end of life are powerful forces. On the other is a history of profound betrayal, public humiliation, and a pattern of behavior she and Harry clearly view as toxic and exploitative. To reach out now is to risk opening a door to a relationship that has caused immense pain, and to potentially expose her children to the same chaotic dynamic. Her camp statement that she reached out is classic modern royal crisis management. It establishes a position of having taken the high road and fulfilled a moral duty without committing to any specific action or emotional reconciliation. It is a defensive perimeter. So as Thomas Markle faces the brutal journey of physiotherapy and adapting to a new reality, the world watches the silent phone by his bed. The hospital source insists it has not rung with the call he waits for. Meghan's team insists the effort was made. In the gap between those two statements lies an ocean of hurt, pride, regret, and protected trauma. The title of this chapter in the Sussex Markle Chronicle is written in Thomas's own words, "One more time before I die." It is a headline of pure, undiluted pathos. But whether it becomes a headline of reconciliation or merely the final, sad epitaph of a relationship destroyed by fame, misunderstanding, and unforgivable mistakes, now rests entirely in the hands of a daughter he drove away, and who must decide if there is a road back, not for the cameras, not for the public, but for a dying man who just wants to see her face. The next hours, days, and weeks are no longer about legacies or media strategies. They're about the most basic human question. Is it ever too late to say goodbye? For Thomas Markle, lying in a hospital bed far from home, the answer to that question is the only medicine left that can truly heal.